Hello everyone, welcome back to Base Damage and welcome back to Community Fridays. This week we have a Azure lane deck posted by Joker, the 5 Bs of Freedom. I guess you can share what, comment down below what you think the 5 Bs of Freedom are. I guess boats, boobs, that's all I got right now. But so if you know, please comment down below. Joker, don't give him the answer. Let him guess. We got to see. Anyway, so yeah, we have Azure. Azure Volume 2 just dropped recently, and obviously everybody has been cooking with this stuff. So I definitely want to see what is here today. I know that I've gone over some stuff with Phantom Star in the Discord as well, going over some of the new cards and like some of the combinations of stuff you can do. So let's see if I can remember any of that. It was like weeks ago when I did this. So all right. Let us take a look. It is an 8 pants build. It looks to be 3 different types of pants, though. Don't think it's a difference between brands, though. Anyway, but yeah, we have 8 different pants. Let us commence with it. So, obviously, first we have Laffy 2. It's 3255. If you have 4 or more constant characters, this gets minus a level in your hand. Very easy. Oh, also 4 copies if I didn't say before. When this is placed on stage from hand, choose up to 1 constant character in your clock. Put it at the bottom of your deck, so heals from clock to the bottom of the deck. And if the total level of cards in your level is 6 or higher, this card gets 4,500 power till end of turn. And then when this becomes reversed, you can bounce it back to your hand. Very interesting with that. So with that, she'll become a 10k. For her ability. So you heal, you early play, you heal, she gets big, but if she gets reversed, she just bounces back to hand, which means you can either summon her again, or you can use her as cost for a different effect if you have an effect that discards. So very nice there. 2 copies of Washington. We have a 3/2/10k. I would say, is this the trial deck? No, I don't think this is trial deck. Sorry. I was trying to remember if it was. I don't know why. When this is placed on stage from your hand, you can rest one of your standing characters. If you do, your opponent chooses 1 climax in their waiting room, returns all cards from their waiting room except that card to their deck. So this is what people refer to as a Fumio. So and then your opponent shuffles their deck. When this card attacks, it gets X power equal to the number of your other constant characters by times 1,000. So full field, she gets 4k. Very nice, very simple, and very nice to have the Fumio effects there. All right, the star of the deck. This fucking card is cracked. Cracked like a fucking exhaust manifold. Aircraft Carrier Enterprise. This is a 3/2/10k. Placed on stage from hand, you can put the top card of your clock into waiting room, so heal 1. Then, when this card attacks, if Brave Eagles We Fight Until the End is in your climax area, and the total level of cards in your level is 6 or higher. Very easy, very simple to do. You can pay the cost. Sorry, I was making certain I'm reading it. I'm also trying to suppress a yawn for some reason. I may have to edit this out in a second here, but I've been just holding it back. So the cost is pay 2, pitch 1. And if you do, during this attack's perform trigger check twice. Keep that in mind. It's because it's really funny. Then it gets the following ability until end of turn. Up to 2 times per turn when this card's trigger check reveals a yellow or blue constant character, you may deal 3 damage to your opponent. That is insane. Why is that so insane? Obviously, there's no events. The entire deck is yellow-blue unless you reveal a climax. Which, as long as you're keeping track of the climax, because 1, you're having to play a climax for this. So automatically, that's only 7 left. As long as you're keeping track of where they're at, you're like, use your basic math, like RNG math skills. This should trigger every single time and just go, cool, burn 3, burn 3. Like, it's also easy to get this off multiple times because of that part that I told you to remember. Do you remember what I told you to remember? Here we go again. Perform trigger check twice. What does this mean? It means you get 2 stock. You pay 2 stock and then you get it back. It's just discard a card from hand. You do it. Yes, you do have to have the 2 stock in order to do it. But I'm going to burn you burn three for essentially the cost of just discard 1 card. That's nuts. That is absolutely nuts. You don't have to reverse. I mean, yes, you have the other restrictions. Honestly, as much as I complain about experience cost, I feel this should be a higher experience than just 6. 6 is very easy to get. And Azur has a lot of new cards that let you do a lot of the level swapping and whatnot. And because of those new cards that let you do the level swap and everything, the 6 is just so stupid easy to get. It's a non-factor in my mind, which is insane considering, oh yeah, when the other members of the Discord pointed it out was, oh yeah, you're paying 2, but you're instantly getting back the 2. It's dumb. It's so dumb because you could sit there with 3 is basically if you somehow go in with like 6 to 8 stock, you can get anywhere from 2 to 3 copies of this to go off. As long as you have A, the hand, and B, the initial 2 stock starting. It's wild to me. So you could just hit for so much with this Enterprise. Anyway, we're done talking about that. We're moving on. It's wild. Watch out for this card. All right. Moving on to the level 2s. We have, and I'm probably going to butcher this, Chokolov? She's hot. That's all we're going to say. 2/1/6K. This is an act ability of put this card into your waiting room, choose one of your opponent's characters, return it to their hand, so a little bit of removal, always nice. Experience of, if the experience is 5 or higher, you can rest this card. Choose one of your characters that gets 1,000 power, and the following ability till end of turn. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you may put that character at the bottom of your opponent's deck. So she gives removal to something and a buff, and then you can also just sack her immediately afterwards to remove something else on the field. That's actually really strong. I do like that. 1 copy of Birmingham. She's a 3K backup. She's the memory cake backup. Understandable. Moving on. 4 copies of Light Cruiser Pamiet Mercuria. If I butchered that pronunciation, I am very sorry. She's, first off, I just recorded another video showing off cards that are 2/0 are going to become much more prevalent, and I like that. 2/0, 75. That's not small by any means of the imagination. All right. When I'm going to claim my reward is placed on your climax area, if the total level of the cards in your level is 5 or higher, choose up to 1 character in your waiting room, return it to hand. Then this card gets 1,000 power until end of turn, and the following ability until the end of your opponent's next turn. When this card becomes reversed, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a constant character, you may return this card to your hand. So she gets an on reverse, I bounce back to hand anyway. Like, okay, cool. Like, she's going to get, like, plus 1,000 from her own effect, plus 1,000 from the pants. She's going to be sitting at a 9/5 before anything else. Like, if you have other stuff buffing in the back row, cool, she's going to be sitting at a 10K. She'll be sitting, like, minimum for her offense. But then defense, cool, she just has the possibility of just bouncing back to your hand, which is kind of dumb. So, really interesting. I say dumb in a good way. Like, it's really interesting there. All right, moving on to West Virginia. So many memes. So 1/1/4K, all of your constant characters in front get 1,000 power, just outright free 1,000 power. When a climax with a pants trigger in its trigger icon is placed in your climax area, choose one of your characters, it gets 1,000 power, and the following ability to the end of your opponent's next turn. This card cannot be chosen by your opponent's effects. Everything I just said with Enterprise, oh yeah, let's just also just give one of these Enterprises a hexproof, like on top of that. Crazy. Chapayev? Once again, apologies for any mispronunciations. I do not know if we have any any viewers from like Russia or anything. If you are and I'm mispronouncing stuff, I apologize. She's a 1/1/3K. Let's see. When this card becomes reversed at the level of the battle opponent is higher than your opponent's level, you can put that character at the bottom of your opponent's deck. Anti early play. Very nice. When this is placed on stage from hand, if the total level of cards in your level is 2 or higher, choose one of your characters and that character gets 1,500 power and hexproof. So we have this giving on-play hexproof, this giving just constant hexproof whenever you play a fucking pants. Just really crazy. Two copies of Haman Second. So 1/0/45. During your turn, if all of your characters are constant, this gets 2K. During the turn this card is placed on stage from hand, when the battle opponent becomes reversed, you can pay 1, pitch 1, rest one of your other standing constant characters. If you do, choose up to 2 constant characters in your waiting room, return them to your hand. Just built-in climax combos the turn that they're played. Very nice. I say it's like a climax combo. It's like you're doing all this on reverse, pay like a crazy cost, and salvaging back 2. It feels like it's a climax combo without the climax. All right, so then we have Anchorage. She's a 1/04K. During your turn, this gets 2K power and climax combo. When Mid-Autumn Moon is placed in your climax area, and if this card is in your center stage, total level of cards is 2 or higher, extremely easy to get. Search your deck for 2 constant characters, reveal them to your opponent. Your opponent chooses 1 character among them, puts that character into your waiting room, and puts the rest into your hand. To the level 0s, 3 copies of Unicorn, not Gundam Unicorn. 00500. I looked at this and thought it was Little Ika from Honkai Star Rail, and I'm like, oh my god, I've been trying to roll for Hyacinth way too much. At the beginning of your Encore step, if you have 4 or more other constant characters, and this is standing, you may pay 3, pitch 1, rest this card. If you do, deal 1 damage to your opponent, and then put up to 1 card from the top of your clock into waiting room. A little bit extra heal as well as just burn on top of that. It's kind of funny. But it's just really funny that you gotta do like 3 for that. Otherwise, you use it for the Brainstorm. Pay 1, rest this mill. 4 for each climax, you get to salvage your character back from your waiting room. Very nice. 2 copies of Battleship New Jersey. She goes from a level 3 to a level 0. 00500. When this card is placed on stage from hand, you can discard 1. Reveal the top card of the deck. Choose a level X or lower character in your waiting room. Add it to your hand. If X is 2 or higher, you can also draw a card after the salvaging, I'm assuming. If you do, choose 1 card in your hand and put it into a waiting room. Oh, no, it's just like more filtering, I guess. Anyway, X is equal to the level of your card. So you still get to salvage something, and then you get to draw and filter. It's just really funny. Like, really cool for that. It's just a lot of filtering options. Very nice. 4 copies of as 002K. When this is placed on stage from hand, put the top 2 cards of your deck into waiting room, and this gets X power equals the number of constant characters times 1,000. So, it basically can get 2K. When this is put into your waiting room from the stage, you can pay 1 and put a constant character from waiting room at the bottom of your clock. If you do, choose a constant character in your waiting room and add it to hand. Very nice. 3 copies of Astoria. 002K. During your turn, she gets 1,000. And then when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, choose one of your other constant characters, rest it, and move it to an open position of your back stage. So, very easy, very simple, clean cut. Very nice. 4 copies of Cleave Bro. We have 0015. We have, when this is placed on stage from hand, you can pay 1, put a constant character from your waiting room to the bottom of your clock. If you do, search your deck for a level 1 or lower character, reveal it to your opponent, put it in your hand, shuffle your deck. More than likely, you're trying to get the anchorages from that. I mean, you have a lot of different good, like, level 1 and lower cards. You can very, very easily pick whatever you need. At the beginning of your climax phase, reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is level 2 or higher, all of your constant characters get 500 power till end of turn. Just really nice, really cool there. Then 2 copies of Bristol. Then this is 0015. Placed on stage from hand. If your opponent's center stage has 1 or less characters, you may choose a cost 0 or lower character in your opponent's center stage. Put it at the bottom of their deck. Just cool. Removal. Very nice. And when this is placed on stage from hand, you can pay 1. If you do, search your deck for 1 climax, and then put a climax in your hand back into the deck and shuffle your deck. So it's a climax swapper, but it's from the deck instead of the waiting room. And that is going to be it for the characters. So 2 copies of I'm Going to Claim My Reward. This is for the level 2 combo. 2 copies of Brave Eagles We Fight Until the End for the Enterprise combo. And 4 copies of Mid-Autumn Moon for the Anchorage combo. Very nice. And I love the art. Like, Azur knocks it out the freaking park with just their really, really nice art. And I just think that's so gorgeous. So, yeah, no, it's going to be really cool. I know we talked about Enterprise so much, but we are going to be ending on her as well. She's busted. I really like the concept of what you can pull off with her. There's a lot of good stuff from Azur and from Volume 2 as well. So I definitely want to see more Azur decks in the future. So if you want to share your own Azur decks, by all means, feel free to join the Discord. The link for that will be in the description. Then we have 2 different channels that you can post. There is a Decklist Submissions channel, and there is a Community Fridays channel. Feel free to post in either of those, and very, very easily, I can go through stuff, and I will say you're more likely to be chosen for a video if it's on Decklog, because I like the presentation more. So By all means, though, if you do want to share it, feel free to share whatever the heck you want in the channels. It is greatly appreciated. And thank you to Joker for sharing with me this today. Always in the kitchen, cooking up something. And once again, if you don't know what the 5 B's of freedom are, like I said, post them down. Post them down there. Comment, please. And that is going to be it for us today. Thank y'all very much. Y'all remember to stay safe and stay based.